Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to this video, which is going to be a little different to normal. We don't normally do much in the way of how-tos, and I'm not entirely sure whether this really is the right how-to, but it's our way, and we are planning the unplanned trip. So it's planned, but where we're going, what we're doing, we've no idea, and that's the bit that's going to be spontaneous. So we'll get started. We'll show you what you need, what we're going to put together, what we need officially, how we get from A to B, and then how we get sites for the night or airs or just whatever information we need for a successful trip. And as you know, we are off in December through to the middle of February. So any comments on the bits I get wrong here, please do put them down below. And any ideas for where we can go, things we can do, or warnings or anything else, please do comment. And we do read all of your comments and reply to them. So let's get into it. And we'll start with how we get from Guernsey. So this is our little rock, Guernsey, and the only thing we have booked, because it's not very reliable this time of year, is the ferry to get back to the UK. And yeah, we're about here. That's where we live, not Beauset Marina. We are on Lancrest Bay. Anyway, we are going across on the ferry to Poole, and that's all booked, and that's the first leg of our journey. And from there we pick up the van, and then our first stop is Wareham Forest. Yeah, we're stopping at Hunter's Moon Caravan and Motorhome Club campsite. Gosh, we've been there so many times, but it is really good. And it's going to give us a couple of days to get our car unloaded, get the van all ready for going across to the continent. And we're doing that via the Channel Tunnel. Now, we haven't booked that at all, and we're hoping that that's going to be easy. It looks quite easy, but it's quite a way from Hunter's Moon to the Channel Tunnel. Yeah, I'll show you. So it says your location, but let's go Channel Tunnel, Folkestone. Wow, let's see where that takes us. So here you go. Now, there's something wrong with this route, or at least there is from our point of view. It is 183 miles. That's not what's wrong with it. We know roughly what it's going to be. What's wrong with it is this blooming bit here. And that is the M25. We don't want to go that way. Particularly as we don't want to do this all in one day. We want to split the trip. So I'm going to drag this down here. And I'm going to drag this down here. And that's looking much better. Much friendlier route. Yes, it does take longer, but actually it's not all that much further. It's 194 miles. So we can then start to think where we stop along the route. Now, a lot of the campsites along here are closed in December, but I do believe Brighton's open, and that one mightn't be a bad option. But I need to go on the Caravan and Motorhome Club website and see if that's available. Now, I won't book it yet. I'll do that when I'm off air. But basically, this part has to be planned. So we've got to book a site somewhere between Wareham Forest and get us to the shuttle in time to pick up the train. The shuttle to go through to France. And we're not going to go for silly o'clock in the morning. I know it's cheaper, but it's only about 20 quid difference from what I can see. And my beauty sleep's worth more than that. So in the meantime, we've prepared ourselves with the app on our phones. Both of us have got it. And it was easy to sort. Let's show you their website. Looks pretty, doesn't it? You've got sort of real-time stuff across the top there. But there's all sorts of information on here. I have to say a lot of it's about advertising rather than practicalities. But there is a lot of information on here. So if you go in the Book Now section, you can choose your dates, one way or return. And you can also go through all of the information. You can see here at the bottom, inspiration, oh dear, customer support, website information, and if you go back to the home page, there we go, and you'll see further down here, get the app. And that's what we've done, both of us. Our phones are Android, so we've both gone on Google Pay and we've got the app so we can do this on the move. So that's our first steps. But before we even get to the tunnel, there are other things that we have got to do. We've got certain things we need to take with us, certain things we need to know about driving in France. So, oh look, there's another advert again. They're asking us to join the Shuttle Club. Let's cross out of that one. And I'm going to take you now to what is a very, very good website for driving, well, not just France, but driving anywhere in Europe, because you can just put it in where you want to go. And that's the RAC site. So let us pull that up. So this is the RAC site. And you'll see there, select a country. You can type in there what country you're visiting and then go to it. I typed into Google driving in France and this is what I got. But you can see across here there are all the different countries. Well, there's only 5 there at the minute, but actually it does include 2 of the ones we're hoping to go to, France and Spain. But if I want Portugal, I just have to type it in there. I'm not going to show you all of them. It would be boring, but it's just an example, and it is an extremely good site. And there are lots of links within the text that take you to the information that you need and things you need to know about. So let's jump to this one. What do you need to drive in France? Well, some of it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Your UK sticker. Well, that doesn't apply to us because we're not UK. We are GBG, Great Britain Guernsey. Although lots of people come up and ask us whether we're from Gibraltar, but no, we're not. Then, usefully, it says mandatory items by law. Reflective jackets. I think most motorhomers and caravanners, and indeed motorists these days, have got those within their cars anyway. Warning triangle. I'm not sure whether you still need 2 in Spain. You used to. And we got one of ours run over by a police car last time we were in Spain and had to buy another one. Anyway, headlamp beam deflectors, they're a pain in the neck. You never know whether you've got them in the right place, and then if you've been in the sun for a while, getting them off is absolutely horrendous. But necessary evil. Snow chains. Now we don't have snow chains. They're not compulsory everywhere. They're only in areas which are particularly susceptible to heavy snowfall. and you can find those zones. Helmets if you've got a motorbike, which we have, and obviously for your pillion as well. Strange, this is saying as an essential, camping card international. It's just worth carrying as an additional proof of identity. We do have one. But then we come on to the next one, clean air stickers. Well, they're really cheap, easy to obtain, and there's a whole list of places you can't go if you don't have one. So for the sake of it, it's just so much easier to get yourself one. And here's how you do it. Well, there's a link in the RAC webpage, which I'm pointing out now. But in time-honoured Blue Peter fashion, here's one I did earlier. She says, let me go to the official website for your critter sticker. And it is really, really easy. You can read it in English or in French, and then you press this button here to order. It's a nice, easy process. In our case, though, when we put the registration in, as always, it comes up as a Ford Galaxy. It's one hell of a Ford Galaxy. Anyway, we sorted it. I went through all the process. Confirmation is almost instant. It's €3.11 plus 70 cents postage. So that's €3.81 in total. The sticker's in the post. It can take a few weeks to get, although they've said they'll post it within 48 hours. So depends how long it takes to get to Guernsey, because although we are close to France, I bet you bottom dollar it's got to go to the UK and then come from the UK to Guernsey. But just in case it doesn't arrive in time, they do send you a receipt, but also at the end of the receipt, and I'll fold my details over there, but at the end of the receipt is your sticker and a QR code, which is there. So we take that with us and we know we're okay. So we're ready to cross the channel, or are we? There's all these new regulations that have come in forth. And last time we went, they weren't there. So let's see what this involves. Well, with all this browsing the web, I've just got a bit distracted. Holland Cooper Black Friday sales just popped up. How could I resist? Well, it's part of the preparation for the holiday, because you've got to have the right stuff with you, haven't you? Well, those boots look really tempting, don't they? Oh, well, no, come on, let's turn that one off and get back to what I should be doing. And I was about to tell you about Le Shuttle, or Channel Tunnel to those oldies of us. So we're going to use the shuttle, I think. As I say, it was the Channel Tunnel when we last did it. That was way back in 1999, and we did it with a car. So not been anywhere near it since, let alone with a big motorhome. But I know a lot of you will have done, and you'll be familiar with the new border arrangements, although they have only just come into play. So we thought we'd tell those that aren't so familiar what happens when you arrive at the shuttle. So you need to arrive at the shuttle about an hour before departure, and there are self-service check-in booths, but there are also some with people in them. You have to go through all of the particular procedures, and this new procedure is known as the EES. That's the EU Entry and Exit System. But the thing is, you do all of that at the UK end before you travel. So it's not quite as bad as it sounds. And you've got to register if you're a UK passport holder. and I think you have your fingerprints taken, but it'll all become apparent when we do it. And we'll show you that when it happens. There's a link here which tells you a bit more about the system and what it is, when it starts. Well, it already has started, how it's going to work. And I think once you're in, as it were, once you're in Schengen, it's valid for 3 years. So, as I say, we'll update you when we've actually been through the system. So, we'll go back to the UK for a minute now, because we'll have a look at the things you need to do and the things you need to take with you. So for this, I'm going back to the RAC website, and you'll see it tells you all sorts of things. Rules of the road in France. What do you need to drive in France? Their driving licence laws. And is there anything you shouldn't take with you? Well, that starts with meat products, milk and dairy. I think we're all aware of that. Fresh fruit, vegetables, plants, that sort of thing. But strangely, you can take bananas. I've no idea why that should be the case, but there you go. So we move on to the documents you need for driving in France. Obviously, a full valid UK driving licence, or in our case, a Guernsey driving licence. To be honest, they're pretty identical. Proof of ID, your passport, motor insurance certificate, and your registration document. So we've got all of those, and I keep them all in a folder, which I will show you shortly. But we need them also for the motorbike we keep in the back. So as you can see, you're in the inner sanctum of my office. A bit messy at the minute because I'm trying to assemble everything we need to go away. And one of the things that I'm assembling is my folder with all the stuff for the van. And here it is. Got a picture of it on the front. Bit sad, I know. And it's not all together yet. I'm assembling things. I'm taking the certificate of conformity for the van. Always do carry that with us. And we have needed it in the past if we've had a breakdown or any problems and we've had to show it to the garage. Registration document. And we've not only got that for the van, but because we carry a motorbike in the back, we've also got all these same documents all over again for the motorbike as well, just in case. And we have made sure that our insurance covers us for Europe. Another thing I've got is my itinerary, but there's not a lot on it at the minute because we've only got Hunter's Moon booked and the ferry. I put emergency contacts in there. These are details of the consulates in France, Spain and Portugal. And I got all of those off the RAC website that we are currently looking at. Accident report forms. Now this is an EU standard form and I've printed, I hope I don't need them, I've printed several off in English. So we've got those if we need them. And what you do is clearly set out on the form that you get with it. You get those off the internet. It's quite easy. And in fact, there is a link on the RAC website to do that. Driving licenses. Yeah, we've got those as well. Insurance. Very important that you've got your insurance, which we've got here. And you need to make sure your insurance is going to cover you in Europe. You don't need a green card, although we have got one. It just comes with our insurance policy. But you must have valid insurance there. And we've actually got the main details of the policy printed out, but not the whole policy document. But I do take that on a stick digitally. So if I do need to access it, then I can just plug it into my computer and everything is then okay. So those are the various documents that we're taking with us, and obviously our passports as well, but they'll be in my handbag. But we know how things get lost in my handbag. I'm sure I'm not going to lose them this time round. Famous last words. Oh, and I nearly forgot, we're taking the Carthago as well. Hopefully the sticker will arrive before we go, but even if it doesn't, I've got that, so I know we're okay. So, we're set up to go, I guess, other than the other things you need to do. Packing, sorting medicines. In this case, because of the time of year, writing Christmas cards. And there's all manner of things I've got to do. Got to leave the house right, make sure it's secure, make sure I've got everything I need computer-wise. Alan's got to get all his computer equipment sorted and his photography equipment and his drone, and make sure we've got his drone insurance and all the bits and pieces he needs. So, yeah, still a lot to do, but we've got about, well, just under 2 weeks to go, so I'm sure we're going to be fine. So, good old RAC website then continues with the French rules of the road, seatbelt laws, traffic lights, road markings. But one of the things that is quite important, especially with a motorhome, are the speed limits. And that varies. You'll see they're there for caravan and trailers, as you can see, and they depend on the length and the weight of the vehicle. Ones that apply to us are for the motorhome, and we are 6.7 tonnes, so we fall in to the second category, the 3.5 tonne to 12 tonne. And there are different speed limits depending on whether it's motorway or what they call a priority road, or basically a dual carriageway, and all the rest of the roads. And these speed limits are a bit different in Spain and Portugal. So please do use this RAC site to get the right information. Write it down. It's easier. You don't want to be done for speeding. So for us, 110 kilometres on a motorway. Now, I think, and I have written it down actually, but I think that is, and I believe that's 68 mile an hour. Now, our van was actually limited from the factory to 68 mile an hour, which was very irritating because you can do 70 in the UK. So we had the limiter taken off, but it's apparently European law. So just something to be aware of if you buy a European van. So that's for motorways. Priority and dual carriageways, that's 100 kilometres an hour, and that's 62 mile an hour. And all of the roads are 80 kilometres an hour, and that's 50 mile an hour. So just beware of these speed limits. The sat-nav does show you when you are actually exceeding the speed limit. The speed bit goes red. So we tend to keep the sat-nav set on kilometres an hour, but we keep the vehicle on miles per hour. And there's two reasons for that, really. One, we're just familiar with miles per hour. But the second reason is that the sat-nav's easy to change the units in the settings. The van is not. You have to scroll through God knows how many menus. So we leave the van alone, change the sat-nav. At least we've got it there, showing the right speed in the right unit. Another thing to be aware of, because we all like a little tipple when we're on holiday, but with a driving holiday you do have to be careful. So the drink driving law in France, the limits are lower than in England. I think they're about the same as Scotland, and that's what it says here. So the limit in the blood for drivers, I'll take me off this a minute so you can read this fully, because it is quite important. So it's 0.5% blood alcohol content, whereas in the UK it's 0.8%. So don't drink as much as you do and drive. Not that you should anyway. We all value our licenses too much. That'd be the end of all of our holidays, wouldn't it? So we're not going to be doing that anyway. So, and be aware there are certain things that they can confiscate your vehicle for. Now that wouldn't be good either, would it? They're set out here. I think you can clearly see them. Confiscation of vehicles. Exceeding the speed limit by over 50 kilometres an hour. Well, we're not going to be doing that in our motorhome. But some of the others, you know, hit and run. Oh, refusal to stop when required. Driving without a licence. But just beware, the French police can be quite scary and you don't want to get on the wrong side of them. We've got through the tunnel and we don't quite know where we're going to go. We know we're going to Spain. So I've just picked here on Google Maps. I mean, we'll obviously use the sat-nav at the time, but just for route planning purposes, I've put in Barcelona. But to be honest, we're not sure whether we're going to go to the Mediterranean coast down here or whether we're going to go to the Atlantic coast. And I think either way, we don't like this route because it goes through Paris. And another thing is I want to go to Reims. I wonder why. Going to find out if there's some sort of French passion places where you can stay in the champagne house, so grounds or vineyard or whatever you want to call it. So let's have a look what moving this does to it. Move it over here. I think Reims is kind of about there. Let's zoom in and find out exactly. Oh, not bad, eh? It's not drawing me my line again though. But yes, we want to go to Reims, and that's about the only place I've got on my list. Do you know what? Bet we won't get there. Nothing ever goes according to plan. And that would then take us down. Let's pull it out again so that we can see the route. So we're going to go over the border. Now, we're not sure whether we're going to go anti-clockwise or clockwise around the Iberian Peninsula. But whichever way we go, we'll take you with us. So in this video, we've given you a rough idea of what we need to prepare to do this unplanned trip and to do the route planning. But actual sites where you want to stay, then that's different. And there's lots of ways you can do that. And it depends where you are. Depends if you've got internet access, phone signal, and there are lots of different ways. There's apps, things like search for sites, pitch up, park for night, camping car parks have got an app. And also there's the old-fashioned way with paper and all the guidebooks, and there's the telephone as well. And don't ignore good old Google, because that always tell you what's around you. So that's always a good one to use as well. So lots of ways to find out where you're going, but don't leave it too late. As I say, you don't want to spend your whole holiday finding a site. So we'll show you a little bit of how we do it. But again, the proof of the pudding will be while we're away, and you can see how we get on. Some of our paper options are a little bit old, but I'm sure not all the places have disappeared. And we shall be getting up-to-date books as well, because I've paid for the Axie subscription. But believe it or not, that doesn't arrive until the beginning of January. And some sites can be a bit sniffy about accepting your card or accepting you to remember. So I've printed off the receipt, and that's going with me as well. But for now, let's show you what we've got. This is my motorhome shelf. So Axie 2025, so that'll do us up to the end of the year anyway, even if they do get a bit sniffy about it. But I'm hoping the app is going to sort that. So that's the Axie books, and these are really useful. There are so many sites in here. The pages are very thin, but it's easy to use. You've got the map here, which is in the book. You just find where you are and away you go. And all the telephone numbers are in here, so you don't have to do it online, which is great when you're on the move, especially if you haven't got very good signal. Although hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. So, number 1, Axie. This is another good one. We've used this before. This is the 2019-2020 edition. It is still in print, and we have used so many of the airs in this book. It is really good. It's got photographs. They're not in colour, but they're enough so that you recognise the place when you get there. It's all nicely set out, lots of information. And yeah, we've had some cracking airs through this. The best airs in France. Next. Michelin Guide. But France Camping Car Michelin Guide. And again, this is amazing. Now, it's not just a list of airs. All the information is in there, but it's also a map. And you never know when you need a map. And sometimes the sat-nav doesn't always behave. So it's always useful to have a map. So that's our French one. Then, this all adds to the weight a bit, but it's worth it. Oh, that's Italy. We're not going to Italy this time, so I'll put Italy back on the shelf. Now this one, Camping Car Park. This is excellent. Now I've just loaded up my Camping Car Park card. I've just put €50 on it, but it is really good. You get this map. They're all marked on the map, and in fact there's more there now than is on this map, but you can get that from the app and from the website. Let's I'll show you this in a minute. I'm just going to put that separately because I'll pull it up on the computer. Spain, airs and free parking places. We've used that before as well. Portugal, same thing. France, route planning map. Yes. All the airs in Spain and Portugal, and that map goes with that book, and that book has also been fantastic for finding places. And we've stayed at, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 out of this book last time we were there. Absolutely great. What else have I got here? Oh, this is the camping car park thing. We don't tend to put the stickers on the van, but there you go. Which reminds me, I forgot to mention the Anglaise Moor stickers, which you have to have on given the size of our van. But yeah, this is the camping car park, and we'll come to that on the computer in just a minute. But for now, all of this needs to go with me, and I will organise it a bit better. And most of the time, we keep our books and guidebooks in a package that we keep handy in the van. Now at the moment, it's full of UK stuff. You'll recognise that if you're a member of the Caravan and Motorhome Club site, or club I should say. National Trust Handbook, Brit Stops. Well, these will be replaced with the continental equivalents. So, we should have all of the information we need to hand. And one of the big things you need to do, and that's why we've got so much information, is when you're in an area, decide what sort of area you want to go to. But don't rely on plan A. Have plan A, B and C, because depending on what time you turn up at the air or campsite or what have you, it can be full and you don't want to get stuck. There's so many tales about dodgy motorway airs, particularly in France, that you don't want to put yourself at risk. So make sure that on the day you plan, even if you don't plan in advance. So have a mind to where you want to end up. Have a kind of mind to where you're going to take, what route you're going to take to get there, and look around it for various places. But don't spend all your time searching for campsites. You're there to see the place. You're there to see what's going on, what you can stumble across, what's interesting you can see, and what's interesting we can film and vlog to you. And we're hoping to be able to vlog, if not a little bit every day, then at least every few days. But it's not always easy, especially if you're covering a lot of miles. But please, in the comments, do let us know. Do you want to do this on a daily basis? Do you want 2 a week, 3 a week? Or just when we get the chance and when we've got something to tell you? Your comments would be very much appreciated. And as I said earlier, we do read them all and we do answer all of the comments. So, back to the computer to show you the camping car park site. So here's the camping car park website. Oh, it's just saying thank you for your order. Let's just go back to the main part, and you see they cover France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Belgium, and there's lots of areas they cover. Let's go to France for now, because that's where we're going to be first. And it got all of them down here. Shows you if you want to search. Let's say you wanted electricity, then you can refine your search by that. Oh my goodness, they've even got them in Guadeloupe and Martinique and Réunion. Wow, well, I suppose they are all French, aren't they? So you've got all of these sites here. Let's just click into one. It says it's open. Let's just click and have a look. And there it's this one. This one's in the Loire Valley. €14.72 for 24 hours. And it's got electric hookup. It's got waste. It's got water. And it's got Wi-Fi. So that is not bad at all. And you'll see where that's situated. And let's just pick on another one. This one says Chateau. Might have wine. Chateau Renault, or Renault, as in the car, I guess. And that, again, is in the Loire Valley. €12.50 a night. And again, electricity, waste, water, CCTV and Wi-Fi. So it is very, very good. Dog facilities, and you can, it's telling you, look here, that there are 71 of the 72 places available. And this information, as I understand it, is live. So as you're making your way somewhere, you can actually check on availability. And then to book, and you can do this on your mobile phone as well. And to book, you've got the usual arrival, date, time, and all the rest of it, how long you want to stay, and then of course you then need to click to book. I'm not going to go any further on that, but just to show you, it didn't used to have a website, but it does now, as most do, and it's really useful. So that's one of the ways we're going to be finding places while we're away. As I say, nothing booked, nothing planned, and the next stage will be to find out what's around once we have a bit more of an idea where we go. But we're going to save that, and possibly a few more comments on Spain and Portugal. Road tolls, that's another important thing. And we'll save that for the next vlog, because I'm sure you're fed up with listening to me by now. And I'm going to get back to my organisation and my packing and visiting the chemist for the prescriptions and all the rest of the mundane stuff that, however unplanned and spontaneous you want your trip to be, there's no escaping. So I'll leave you with that and catch you on the next one. So for now, cheers.